And welcome, Underground World News Live. And yes, back here on YouTube this evening. Much love. Good to see everybody out there in the chats. I appreciate everybody out there that shares the stream. Check some things here. It's been a minute since I've been on YouTube. Want to make sure everything's looking good, sounding good. If I can get some feedback there in the chats. J Bear, for me. Galra, Katuj in the house. E Fitz. Thank you for the feedback, guys. Yes, it's been a minute. Back over here on the tube. I know some people don't like to get on the other platforms or can't, so I figured, hey, I'll at least try one night a week, or at least try these Wednesdays over here on YouTube. So, and we got D Live as the backup, and X as well, but no Rumble. It's either going to be YouTube or Rumble. I got to go through a lot to set up Rumble. It's not as easy as just going on, hitting a button, and going live. You got to copy and paste all these stream keys and do all this stuff. But we got a lot to cover tonight, man. Wide range of things. Let me get the screen up here and going. Roll that back there. Much love it there, Jesse. If you guys got anything you want to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com, or tag me there in the chat. I want to start off here by saying here tonight, some crazy storms and weather, severe weather, rolling across the country. I'm going to be taking a look at a couple different types of maps and some anomalies here as well. Thank you, Doc Shelley, for the donation there. Appreciate it. Warrior in the house. But so, yeah, it's good to see a lot of you guys that I only see over here on YouTube. Good evening. Good to see some of you guys I ain't seen in a minute. And Sweet Pea, thank you for 3 coffees. That is the best way to support the show right there. And speaking of buy me a coffee here real quick, let me just, I tweeted out a poll. I've never done this before, but they've got polls there. And I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste this in the chat. Copy the link. And it's a question that I've got for all of you. Instead of sitting there trying to count in the chat who says what, which is like impossible for me to do while I'm live. We got a poll here. If you guys got an opinion, I'd love to know. I'm going to be doing another one on where you guys want to see action from, live streams. But I thought that this was the better question right now. Like, what's the greater problem that we face right now? Pirate Justin checking in. Yes. I only got 4 on the list. But I got border invasion, a cyber event, lights out, the stage protests that we see, or the Bikenomics. You know, we can leave a comment there, whatnot. I just, I'll share the results on the next stream. I dropped it there in the chat. We're going to get this thing going here. Where's the all the above option, says Kev Bar. Hey, you're right. Maybe I'll add that in there next time. Like I said, it's the first one I've ever done. I'm glad they got that option there. Helps me get a better beat on what people are thinking for real. Well, all of us, because I can share the results with you guys and you can see kind of the consensus. All right, let's Well, again, let me say, as the thunder rolls outside, if this stream does go down for any reason tonight, I'd say the best bet is that the power went out. Yeah, because I'm hearing it rumble out there. Ryan Wayne checking in. Welcome back to YouTube, brother. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it to the fullest. And Meat Puppet with the coffee. Much love. Hey, I feel you there with the debt and all that, for sure. Yeah, and I appreciate that again, Ryan, to the fullest. But those out there in the path of these storms, man, be aware of your surroundings. I've noticed anymore, the weather is pretty explosive. I think it's weaponized, you ask me. Carl, thank you as well. I've just seen too much of it. I've seen too much damage done in precise locations. Like the rain bombs, the flooding of these towns that sit in certain areas that get flooded out in many different areas. And when you back up and you look at what gets hit, it always seems rather targeted to me. A lot of tornadoes going to be spinning up this season. It's already begun. Tonight, there's a threat. We're under watch all through this area. Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio. The nighttime tornadoes are the scariest, the deadliest. So just stay on top of it. You guys hear sirens going off out there. I'll continue to update if I see anything going on throughout the stream. And Laura, thank you. Much love right back to you. Yeah, if you guys see anything like tornado touching down somewhere, don't be afraid to at me in the comment section. Or try to get my attention. And, hey, much love. Thank you for that coffee. Shout outs to the cats across the pond, too, in the UK. Everyone checking in out there worldwide. We're going to start off here with some sun activity. And we've got an Earth-directed CME. Got to kind of pay attention to these things because, as you're about to see here in a second, the sunspot that's active right now, popping off shots right at us, is the same size as the sunspot that produced the Carrington event. So, we have Earth-directed incoming CME. Within the past 24 hours, there was an X1 flare. There's been up to an M9 in the past 6 hours. So that's going to be right below X. As I said before in the last video, on the last stream, when all these X flares started popping off the 3rd through the 5th, there was a whole bunch of high-level M's that were just right under X flare status. So a lot of energy coming in. You could start to see the cannibal CME effect take place. And really, that's what the Carrington event was comprised of. Is now that I look back and I see some of the information on it, it was multiple CMEs that came from an unstable area, which I'll show you right here. And what we're getting shots from right now is 3664, AR 3664. It was 3663, which is up here and about to turn around the limb. But you can't rule that thing out. Michael B from NJ checking in with, oh my gosh, 40 coffees. Like crazy support and love, man. Thank you. To the fullest there. Appreciate it more than you know. But this solar cycle very active. And you can see 3664 bigger. It looks the same size at least. I mean, they look at least equal as the Carrington sunspot. And that took place in 1859. And you can see the effects of these CMEs coming in all the time if you live in the upper latitude, you see these beautiful auroras, which I never get to see where I'm at down here, just too far south. But some of these events, Earth directed, they could light up auroras all over the place. Um, it says right here that Carrington's famous event sparked in August and September of 1859. So it was at the end of August into September. It was a series of eruptions, intense solar flares and CMEs, and it let loose this blanket of energy that hit the planet, and the resulting geomagnetic storm set fire to telegraph offices and sparked auroras from Cuba to Hawaii. So they say that a storm like that should occur once every 40 to 60 years. Did you know that? Every 40 to 60 years. Last time was 1859. We are way overdue. You don't think they know this, do you? They're just leaving this frailing infrastructure like here in America just to get licked one good time, fry everything out. It'd be a good excuse for them, that's for sure. They never let a good crisis go to waste, you know this. But it would cause chaos. I'm just saying, we got one staring right at us. It's popping off X flares. It's got the energy. Same size, almost the same spot. Just saying, whether this one does it or it's a different one, it can always happen. It doesn't always just have to be the government, you know. The sun has done it before, and we're overdue. Just remember that. All right, let's take a quick look at the earthquakes, because I'm seeing a little bit of activity we should talk about, it seems. Quakes in strange places. Decent ones. This 5.3 up here. This one east of Iceland. Usually they're hitting right in Iceland, so this is east. We've got this whole region down here around the Serpent Heads that's lit up. And what's crazy, and thank you, Kathy, checking in with the 5 coffees. Much love. Appreciate it to the fullest. To the fullest. Kathy again with another 5 coffees. And I can't thank you enough, Michael B. from NJ again with the 40 coffees. It's huge, man. Support, appreciate it more than you guys know. But these quakes, man, when they start doing this, from what I've seen in the past, we could start to see some weird stuff. Like over here in the Easter Island area, you see Drake Passage got some here, but this region right here, just north of this, make note of this. Make note of this. When you're looking here at this Waddell Sea and you've got this huge dip, as soon as you come up out of it, you've got these little knobs right here. This is where Neumayer Station is, okay, in Antarctica. And you've got a ton of mystery and all types of bases down there. Look what these quakes are hitting, all down here in this area. Let me go up here and point out real quick also a 4.9 striking in the Caribbean. So you're talking right around the 5 range, Antigua, Barbuda. Just saying, time they get to that size, you got to pay attention. And we've got a quake swarm over here. 6.3, but nothing major around any major cities. I got to point out, though, the crazy swarming going on around New Zealand. I know we got some cats out there that listening in New Zealand. You see they're larger off the mainland, although there's a couple in there that are around 3. Just a ton of small quakes, whatever this means. In the past, we've seen some crazy quake activity in New Zealand. The earth get ejected up out of the ocean right there on the coastline. It's crazy stuff. It's some big quakes right here in the middle around Wellington. And the thunder rolling out there. You guys may hear it in the background. But yeah, that's a look at the quake map. I'm going to jump over here to this anomaly. If you guys missed this, I put this out on the channel, on the YouTube channel, which is Surviving End Times. This is officially the first live stream under Surviving End Times. I changed the name up over here because I don't know, for me having two channels with the same name, whether it was algorithm wanting to constantly do it or just whatever. It was trying to hit like my backup channel was copying like a different channel, trying to copy my main channel, and it was constantly giving it problems because of it. And I was like, nah, and I wasn't, obviously flagging my own channel. So they were like, look, just change the name, change the handle, and everything else. It'll probably go away. So put a lot of thought into it, and it's Surviving End Times because I figured we over here riding it out on this channel. It's new name, new handle. And I'm dropping videos over here constantly. Every day I look to be dropping videos. Try to get back on the grind. This one, you talk of anomalies. In the video that I put out on this, you'll see that I reference a video from 5 years ago. And like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, there was a handful of years, the mimic maps was showing us crazy beams and anomalies coming from Antarctica. And they were only showing up in certain frequency spectrums. So unless you were looking in those spectrums, you were going to miss it. You wouldn't even know it existed or that it was happening. It'd be just like invisible. But you could pick it up in this certain frequency range. And it was rather crazy because I think you, Darren Cates, who else we could have, Master the Human Domain? Hey, man. Thank you. Appreciate it to the fullest there, brother. Just now seen that. Sorry to get the chat pulled back up. Yeah, long time no see, Darren. I know I didn't announce it for a lot of people. On the last stream, I think I did mention Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the new regiment. So Wednesday's going to be YouTube exclusive from here. We'll see where it goes. Trying this out for now. But if you look at that video, you'll see that older clip. The original video is actually on my main channel, W77. And it's an anomaly. If you're trying to figure out, what could be going on down here, I know it's the U.S. military and this, or I'm going to say U.S., these militaries doing what they do. The UK's down here. South Africa operating. But this what you're looking at right here is the waves. And it's trying to say that this whole region is kicking up a wave region of like 83 feet. Now, we don't have any visual proof of this. But this is coming through the Drake Passage right here is some of the craziest currents and waters in the world. So deep, so choppy. People hate to traverse it. Getting out here, there's not much going on. There's not, a lot of shipping stuff going on out here. So it's a lot of just military. But if you go directly south, remember what I told you earlier about following this up, and then you see these little knobs. Well, it's right here. And that's where Newmeyer Station sits. And just look where all this stuff emanates from. What you're seeing on the screen is from the 6th. And this has been happening throughout the past few weeks, months, popping up here and there. But it keeps showing up in the same spot. So for them to say it's just some kind of glitch, and that they fixed it. Well, you didn't fix it if it was a glitch. And I think it is more than a glitch. Are we seeing something out here that could be pushing the waves up to 83 feet? Possibly. I'm not going to rule it out. But the way that this thing moves and the way that it hits the coastline, we would have already seen damage. The way that it moves up through there, you would have done seen and heard the reports all through Africa and all that of crazy something. Anyone off of Cape Town, any ships coming around through there, they would have seen it. Something. So, you know, when you start to really look at it, this day and age, there's all kinds of technical data out there. Also, when you go and you look at the buoys that are in this area that track and control tsunamis and all this other stuff, they weren't all going off here. You see, sometimes you gotta dive deep if you don't really want to figure out what's going on. Could it be some kind of glitch they got going? Maybe. Is it something in the atmosphere? Could it be frequency based? That's top of the list for me right now. Let's go to real time now. I'm gonna hit play. Let's go hit play here on the screen, and you guys see how that thing grew. Now watch though. Look at this. See this region right here? This is new. It's going through the time frame, through the 7th. Look at that dark region that pops up and notice exactly. I'm going to go back and play it again. See this? It's saying the waves are 30, 40, 50 feet, 50, 60 feet, like being suspended, 70 some feet, all right here. Literally right off the coastline of Newmar Station. Like, give me a break. You know they're doing something. I mean, I know they're doing something. I thought that was pretty crazy. I'm going to hit play, though. Let it go through the days here, and you're going to see. Run through today. Here we go. It starts to do the same thing. Whatever they're doing, whatever's going on right off the coastline there, whatever it is, on these maps, where it's trying to read the top of the water, for whatever reason, it's getting reflected back like there's either something massive there reflecting it back at this height. It's just a glitch or an anomaly, in their system, or some kind of massive experiment that I don't have an answer for. We never had a solid answer for the old stuff that happened, and still don't. All we know is that when you tracked and traced it, because I did dozens of videos on this back in the day, all the beams came from one spot, Newmar Station, this region. There's bases all over this place. Don't get it twisted. And it's separated up into territories to where different countries kind of operate. But they set it up to be a scientific hub, so to speak, and tried to make a treaty to where no one would establish any military bases there. Problem is, out of Hitler's own mouth, he said that the new mother base, that you could not penetrate it, was in Antarctica. And that was back in the midst of the whole war and all this other stuff, when they were down here battling Vimana, or disc-shaped craft, in the air that had swastikas on them. And the swastika, again, it's not what y'all think, what they tried to push upon everybody. With Hitler, it's some evil thing. Maybe on some separate stream, we'll have to dive and break down that. Look at every single culture out there throughout history. They all had it in one form or fashion, and what it really represented, versus what they want you to think it's some evil. But the power of symbolism is real. They know this. That's why Israel has that star on their flag. It's all used in sigil form. Um, so, for what it's worth, I don't know. I can't, for right now, it's still a mystery. I'm just going to leave it at that. We keep on pushing here. For those that are interested in that, there you go. Yeah, I did look in there. I did look at the islands that were in there. That was interesting. I was starting to look at those areas. And I had other videos from the past where from those islands themselves, we have waves emanating from the islands, not Antarctica, but from the islands right there in the ocean. This huge bit of waves coming up. Something was doing it. And again, you could only see it in certain frequency form. Because we go to these maps and go through all these different layers. And if you get lucky, you catch something crazy. Much love, Joe, Eddie Ross. Yeah, so, and I take into account that stuff is pretty fascinating when it comes to Antarctica, when it comes to the North Pole out in the ocean, all the history, Admiral Byrd, Inner Earth, Hollow Earth, if you will, which whatever the shape is ultimately of what we're on, and it's debatable because no one can prove it to a T till we do. Till we get our own rockets or CubeSat satellites up there, our own weather balloons that got cameras on them. We got to do something to try to get to the bottom of this. I noticed. Let me see here real quick if I can pull this up. Shout out to the Tabortronic. He sent me a link here on another map, and I'm gonna pull this up. Check this out. Pull this up here. All right. And what we were watching was this area right here. And we go over to this map. You can see what the winds are doing there. They're definitely right here swirling around this region. I don't know what's going on there, but let me go up here up top real quick. Right here. So we get this map right when you get to the top. Right where the North Pole hole should be. Where the real oceanic depression exists. If you don't know, you can look it up. It's where the Earth drops in. It's called the oceanic depression. It is real. It happens right in here. And then, as always, they want to black this out. Now, you can also go over to like satellite tracker for SpaceX. And for a lot of other places, you'll notice very few satellites are allowed to go over the region of the North Pole. And that brings up the Dark Knight satellite stuff too. And then I keep questioning on some of these maps the wind speed here, which sets along the top. Like, why is the wind racing flat that way. Again, this is right at the oceanic depression, before you get to that area. Anyhow, I don't know. Sometimes when you pull their data and you look at these other maps, man, it just raises some questions. And look, here we go. This is a whole different setup here, whole different overlay. How they're showing everything, all the winds around the planet. But notice again, what do they make sure to do? They cut out that exact top center spot, and they keep it hidden, not wanting to show us what's there. That is something that's always intrigued me, especially knowing the stories of Dark Knight Satellite and all the lies, man. You know, all the deception. Hopefully, in the future here, we get this telescope set up. It'd be nice, and we can have some live streams where we're just watching what's going on up in the heavens. I used to do that a long time ago, and I had to basically take my phone and hold it up next to my telescope and tape it to it to pull it off. All right, I'm going to keep this pushing. If you guys don't know, I'm sure most of you do, solar energy is at the top of the list here if you're wanting to go off grid. If you're wanting to, get away from that bill. Get away from that bill that you're paying every month. And just have like some independence and freedom, all the bills. To me, the ultimate goal is to break away from the slave thing, right? I mean, come on. That's what we're all trapped in. Everybody's trapped in this thing where you've got to pay bills, whether it's rent, whether it's mortgage, same thing. At this point, you got to cover energy prices, obvious food on the table, water, then your insurances, phone bills, your internets, all these other things. Well, you can mitigate that damage a lot. I sat down and thought to myself, if there was a package or something you could build and create to break away from this, what would it be? Well, and I've looked at a ton of different things. There can be a lot of different options tied into this. I started off looking at Earth ships and things like that, just getting a ton of different ideas. And I've gone through a million different things I've looked at. In the end, it doesn't matter. As long as you can pull it off, you can build something. You have to power it. The best way to power it that I see away from the grid is solar. If you have wind, you're up on a ridge, yeah, wind is an option. But they are high maintenance. And if they're not in the right places, they can just kind of not do you any good. Solar, everyone that I've met, see, they've done good. They've been doing good. Not a lot of complaints. Most people I know just kind of upgrade throughout the years to different things. The solar setup that I've had, just as a backup here, that I got years ago, spent like $1,500, $2,000 on the whole thing, with some panels and battery bank and all this stuff. It was enough to like keep some things going, but like it's not going to power the whole house. But it will help you in an emergency situation. And mine's still rolling strong. We had it for years. It's been out in cold weathers and all this other stuff, and all my panels still performing great. And it's been some years now. But now, places like Signature Solar here in America, and I throw their name out there because they're American made in Texas. Signature Solar, a place you might want to look into. They sell mini splits, which are the new HVAC units, which a lot of people are going to be forced into looking into anyway because the Biden administration has changed the R410A rules to where after this year, you can't get them charged no more. So you have to get the whole system replaced. That's a whole nother story. But the mini splits are big and popular, and they're zone controlled. That way, if in the living room somebody wants a temperature, and back in the bedroom you want a different temperature, you all got your own head unit in there from the mini split. You can control what you have going in that room. It's a plus. So a house set up on solar mini splits, and if you didn't know, they make them now. They make solar mini splits, 6 panels. They sit out there, they operate in the sun. Obviously, at night when the sun goes down, they're not going to be working directly off the sun because it's not there. But if you have a little battery bank set up, just a small one, not even a huge one, it'll keep working the mini split overnight because that's all the battery thing is doing is just running the mini split overnight, just keeping it cool, kicking on every now and then, get you through the night. As soon as that sun rises the next day, it's on again. All day long, these panels are producing the energy for the mini split. And you can have 2 heads on it, going to 2 different rooms, and cooling them down all day long off the sun, not even off your main battery bank. Technology is advancing. It's all American made, which is the best part. That way, if you go to war and you need backup parts or any of this other stuff, which you need to be thinking about, you can still get them. You even have to hop in a car and drive down to Texas to get them. Whatever. American made is the way to go and to buy from here on out in any of your stuff to the best of your ability. And I would say this, if you're going to buy solar panels, not only buy American, try to get what they call bifacial panels. It's the newest panel out there, and it pulls in light from the back of the panel. It's pretty cool. It gives you like anywhere from 20, 40% more, depending on your setup, gain. Some people set these big white things behind it, and it reflects the sun back on it, and it just magnifies the power to it. And anyhow, if I was going to break away from the grid, this is the route I'd go. Solar. You can get a full setup. All the panels, 30-some panels, the bracketing, the battery bank, the inverter, all new stuff that's all easy to set up for like $20,000. I know it's not cheap. It's $20,000. But in the long run, it breaks you away from all this. The control. Every bit of it. Like at some places, before you can even get an approval for a permit to get your power on, you got to jump through all these hoops. Like if you're building a building, you got to pass all these things, and the powers last, and they hold it over your head. You're not going to get no power if you don't jump through all these hoops. And it's just like, screw you, I got my own power. Kick rocks. They don't hold that power over you then. Then just get a septic tank, throw it in, and get a bunch of big water catchment tanks, huge 3,000 or 4,000 gallons, and start catching the rainwater and cleaning it. Spend about $1,000, get a good system with some filtration, even some UV light, and boom, you're cleaning your own water. It's going to be better than anything you get from your town or your city or your government. You can have your own septic line set up right there, so nothing to worry about there, and your own power and energy. Then you have none of those bills. You're completely disconnected from the beast. So yeah, chickens, food, all that, farm animals, all that comes along with it. But to break away from them trying to take your home and take your land and leave you homeless, living in a vehicle, these are options right here, man. Things to think about, man. Keep it pushing. survival at the top of the list, man. It's about that time. In terms of all this stuff, you know that they're trying to push EVs on us pretty big. I don't like them. I don't like electric vehicles. They're like a golf cart. They don't have any power in them. I would not want one at all, personally. So they're trying to make this new EV plant in North Carolina. If you guys don't know, try to raise some awareness on this. Residents believe that if this goes in, it's going to pollute the waters, the air. It's going to destroy the scenic countryside. So they're wanting this to go away. I don't know if it's going to be that easy. This is what they're trying to bring there. If you don't pay attention, sometimes, this is what they do. They creep in. They get approval, and the people don't know it. Like here in October of 2023, North Carolina State Legislature allocated $35 million to Burke Development for the purchase of a 1,400-acre property on which to build an industrial megasite. And it spans 2 counties. So it's like the people are just now catching on to this. And now they're like, oh, you tried to quietly pull this off. We don't want it. And they're right, because when it comes to the battery game, remember, when you look into Europe and you look into all these other places, they kind of launched it before us, mandated it. What's their biggest issue? They don't know what to do with them. They don't know what to do with the batteries because it's toxic. You can't just take it to a normal dump like that. It's a huge issue. When you get into lithium batteries and lithium battery fires and they don't want that. You can't blame them. So hopefully the people in North Carolina protest this. It's all about bringing it into the light. And that's what we're trying to do here. Shed some light on it. All right, a quick heads up here on Panera discontinuing charged lemonade. I don't know if you guys drink anything like this. I'm guessing this is kind of like an energy drink. Charged lemonade. It's now killed multiple people. It's pretty crazy. So it's going to be discontinued. They're catching lawsuits left and right. These people died. A woman here, a Jersey City resident, and a 46-year-old man from Florida both died after consuming the beverage. So, heads up, man. If this is something you guys like, know somebody that drinks it, I think twice about it. I don't even know what they're putting in these drinks these days. Well, I mean, the government just allows them to do half the stuff. And check this one out. If you've got animals out there and you travel, you may want to pay attention, especially if you like to fly, go to other countries, go to Mexico, Canada, anywhere with your little dog or your pets, whatever. It now says, as you can see here, dogs entering the U.S. must be 6 months old and microchipped to prevent the spread of rabies. This is a new rule. So any dogs coming in from other countries need to be at least 6 months old, microchipped to prevent the rabies, part of the new government regulations. The updated rules mandate jabs for dogs previously in rabies-prone areas. It says the breeders, rescue groups, and pets with U.S. owners are all affected by these new regulations. So just saying, you go out of, like I said, slip down Mexico, take the puppy with you just got or something, and you're trying to come back across, this is what they're going to end up saying. Where's the papers on the dog? And it's got to be chipped. Crazy. Do they care about the people in swarming across the border? No, they don't. It's catch and release with them. But yet, when it comes to your dog, they're saying it's going to have to be microchipped. Guys, telling you, I mean, think about this. I said this a while back. The airports are so like the people need to come together. Seriously. I mean, you should take this serious. People out there, anyone's got money, you're trying to make this happen. If you're flying to any of these places, it's time that we get like our own little charter business. It doesn't take much to make a runway. People got the property out there, different locations. Just a flat field. It could be cordoned off to a runway. And we start flying our own people to our own places. You know what I'm saying? Because we just don't need to even, I mean, the prices people pay anyway. And what you got to go through at the airport. I mean, just imagine going to a friendly airfield, loading up, no issues, taking off, landing at your destination. No issues. I see the super rich do it, but I mean, there's like John Travolta's got a runway in his driveway and all this stuff. Of course, the super rich are doing it left and right. And they're bypassing all the airport crap, so they'll never get busted. They'll never get messed with, ever. Well, we could do it too because, I mean, small scale. You got to have $1 million jet. Actually, I looked into it. For somebody that was really wanting to do it, tens of thousands of dollars, yeah, get you a good aircraft. But you're in business. You're in business, man. And I'd say you stay pretty busy. Right clientele, people that want to go to Mexico, want to go to Canada, want to go to these other places, down to the Bahamas, these other places, and want to do it peacefully. You could build a name off of just that reputation alone. It's the only way I would go or fly. I ain't messing with them airports anymore. I drive anywhere across this country. I'll just go down to Miami and catch a boat and go over to the islands that way. Either way, you got to go through all the security crap, and it's ridiculous. All right, let's get into some talk here about Drake, the rapper Drake, and a shooting that took place at his house, his Toronto home. Apparently, him and Kendrick Lamar, another rapper, got into this, some are calling a staged beef for attention. And it resulted in a drive-by in front of Drake's house, and his security guard, his guard dude gets shot. That's all we really know. These two have been going back and forth, and all this really does is throw more publicity and attention on them, on their record sales. And some are arguing, is it just that? Is that all it is? Because of floundering record sales, lack of attention, all this other stuff? I don't know. Either way, I guess in terms of the beef, some people are looking like Kendrick's crew could have been behind this and actually put a drive-by down on Drake's house, which says that they're the ones that currently are winning. If that's how you want to put it, they're one up on them. They pulled off the drive-by, got one of his guys. So now it's on Drake to retaliate, so to speak. This crazy game, man. Anyhow, that's what happened there. I don't care for either one of them. I don't keep up with them. I don't know anything about their disses, the verses. I just know that Drake himself has proven to be fruity and satanic. And I've seen it all over the place with him. I don't know as much about Kendrick Lamar, but anyone that's promoted by the industry has bowed down to the beast at this point in the game. You got to know that. So they're being heavily promoted out there, all this other stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to push on. I remember years ago when I put out a warning about the very first GMO anything to come into this country. I remember it, man. I remember, man, it's kind of like crazy. It's unprecedented. It's the first one. It's the Okanagan apple, is what it was. And they GMO'd it to where it would not brown as quick or as easy if you peeled it and, left it sitting out for 5-10 minutes. A normal apple will start to brown. It's just a normal process of it, the enzymes. And they made it to where they didn't. That was the beginning. Screwing with all the genes and all that stuff. So I warned back then, like, you better watch out. You fast forward to today, they've done slipped in, appeal, Bill Gates' products and all these other GMOs all over every store. Everywhere you go. I mean, you walk in, you flip over something that says it's got a bioengineered ingredient in it. All the processed garbage that's out there, it all says it all over the place. You really got to do your research these days or be growing your own food. So even if you're growing your own food, you got to watch out, because if you're not buying strictly heirloom, non-GMO specific, you can end up getting stuck with exactly what you don't want. These genetically modified things that they're producing, like this Trojan tomato, so to speak. They've got this new genetically modified purple tomato. And they say that it's packed full of nutrients and it's got a heightened antioxidant level, all these potential health benefits for the people. And they made it in a lab, messing with it. We really don't know what they did to it. But this is just what they're telling us, and it's purple. So, I don't think so. And I'm just warning y'all. You'll start to see out someplace they're serving purple tomatoes or this and that. You just remember the story. No, it's GM. No matter what anyone wants to argue and say. Yeah, this is what's happening, man. So, it says it's destined to infiltrate America's gardens. Oh, really? Not mine. Not my people's. Not anyone with a brain. Not happening. Not as far as we can control it. I just want to throw that out there because these days it is everywhere. Like I said, just go in a store, flip over the product. It's bad. Last live show I was talking about Walmart, the meat recall, E. coli, all this other stuff. Yeah. You can't trust none of these places. I would deal local, especially if you live in a community that's got a guy that's got cows or something. Man, we're in crazy times here, man. I don't trust none of the stuff out there. None of the companies. None of your fast food joints. And I question a lot of the other places too. I mean, it's got to be a place that earns my trust. There's just a handful out there that have. Again, salutes to Waffle House, Huddle House, and all my purebloods out there. They held true throughout the storm. They sure did. Yeah. There's other places I give my money to. That's another way to fight the fight, where you're spending your money. What businesses you're giving your money to, keeping alive. I keep those mom and pop shops alive. Keep those local things alive. Spend your money there. Long as it's legit. That's how you keep it alive. You know how many people has been telling me, oh, I just witnessed this haircut shop, this mechanic shop closed down in town, and this and that. Like, I hear it constantly. And just in the past month or two alone, I've heard it from around rumblings, in the flesh rumblings out and about, and in inner group circle rumblings. I've heard it everywhere. People saying their towns are shutting down. Man, businesses are fleeing. They give you calf bars or something in the group the other day. In his town. He says to me, thanks, Charleston is dying slowly. And my response was, brother, they're killing America right in front of us. Right in front of our face. That's what's happening. They're dismantling it right in front of our face. You're living through it. And yeah, when you're seeing these places close down and leave town, it's sickening, it's frightening, it's disgusting. It leaves question after question, like why, where are they going? But so many have succumbed and been brought to their knees by the beast here, one way or another. Bidenomics, whatever it is. Again, I would support locals, local markets, the way to go. Because before too long, man, just to find a job being a human is going to be a difficult thing to do. I'm going to tell you, going into 2030 and beyond, on the other side of these big events that are coming, on the other side of all this, lights out, these big horrific events where all these people are going to die, whatever they drop next, on the other side of it, robots and AI are going to clamp down like never before, especially by 2030 and beyond. Whatever's left of humans are going to be fighting for any jobs that are left. Now look at this. Look around the globe at the number of AI startups. And look where it's just exploded. And it's going to continue to be this way. You would think China may be in the lead here, but they're not. They're second. But the United States, it just blows everyone away. 5,500 different startups. It's just everywhere, every sector, everything that you can think about. Patents galore. It's madness, man. You know what? Top of the stream here, I want to give a shout out to everyone out there. Live one checking in. I'm going to load up a chest on D Live here real quick. 1,000 in it. Bust it open. I wish I could do that over on YouTube. Maybe here at some point. I did see they had some thing where you could like, I don't know, maybe it was like where you host, like a hosting feature. If I saw that right. It'd be nice to be able to utilize that, host another channel. Dangus in the house, man. Brother, it's been a minute. Can't wait to see you again. D. Whitehouse. Much love, my brother. Jake in the house. Can't wait. I hope to see some of you guys again. Live one. Hoodie Ross. For me, Steve. Much love. All y'all. PK. Joe Akin. Susie Q. Also, give a shout out to my man Beard Vet here at the top of the hour. If you guys are coffee drinkers, anything like that, check out beardvet.com. Cats over there, they've all been reeling from the tornadoes hitting that area up there. All the people up there, I send prayers, and I hope everyone's staying safe tonight. And also, let me see if I got that pulled up here. I think I X'd it out. Let me Barbara Kirby, thank you for the PayPal. Appreciate it to the fullest. To the fullest. I have to say, buy me a coffee. Best way to support the channel. Followed by PayPal. It's the only way that I got. I don't do lemons on D Live. People give them to me. I just give them back. You really want to support the channel. Buy me a coffee. PayPal is the only options that I've got. Or have been using. Um, so check this out. This is cool. I like this. This gives all of us a look at what's going on, man. I'm gonna copy this, share this again. I'm dropping this in the chats, man. This is a poll. I want to know what y'all think. If y'all can, let me know what's going on, what you guys think here in terms of what's the greatest problem the U.S. faces: border invasion, a cyber event, lights out, 11/11, the protests, or Bidenomics. It says 9 votes, so I'd like to see more votes there if we can get them up. And I will report back on that, update on that here in a bit. But thus far, the border, the biggest problem, and we're gonna get into that here in the second half of the show. Let's talk about here real quick some the used cars. Some of these things you kind of keep track of, like diamond sales, Rolex, all this stuff, just to see where the market's at, what people are doing. And all signs have pointed to the consumer's been getting crushed. And it says now bad loans hit a record high as used car prices suffer the worst bear market ever. Here we go again with Evers. The worst ever. Look at that. Look at that dump off right there. Ever. And this is coming on the heels of a huge increase. Remember that. Because you couldn't get new cars because of the chip problem. So all the used cars were a hot commodity. You guys remember? Here in this past couple of years, everybody's wanting them. Because they didn't want them, well, they couldn't get a new vehicle. So it caused the price of used cars to go up. Now, since these chips have come through and new cars are rolling into all the lots and things have gotten back to normal life, so to speak, the used cars in price have plummeted down back to, I would say, a normal area because it's skyrocketed because of that. I'd say artificially. So all this is kind of artificial. But when you're creating these global events out here, I guess you can do this. But that's a huge decline there in that market. And I know everyone's feeling it out there. But Gen Zers, man, I don't know what kind of world this is going to be for these younger generations, man. Like, I'm here and I'm ready to go. Like, I'm just broke. I'm a poor white boy for Kentucky. But if there's cats that stepped up and had financial crap together and was ready to ride, like, there'd be a whole lot happening right now. But, with the situation, Bidenomics, everyone getting crushed out here, this next generation, it doesn't seem it's going to stand a chance. It's like if we don't do something now, there's nothing. Like, they don't stand a chance. They're inheriting so much debt, and they have, like, no hope whatsoever. It's insane. The propaganda doesn't help. Thank you, Kansas Homestead, for the coffee. Appreciate that. This day and age in the public school system, if you're not watching out, you come home and your kids are in the other room meowing to each other. And it's like, what are you doing? Then at the table, you're like, knock it off. Then they start getting rude with you and, like, barking back. And, like, you're like, what is going on? Well, all of a sudden your kids have been indoctrinated that they are a cat and a dog. And, like, we are. You can't tell us any different because our teacher said so. And if you do say any different, they're going to go back to school and they're going to say that you've been bad. And they're going to rat you out. They're going to get you in trouble. Your own kids become your worst nightmare at this point because you put them in the public school system where they go to school and have litter boxes in the corner of the room. If you have a kid going to a school like that, shame on you. What's the excuse? There's always some kind of excuse. Um, it's ridiculous, man. These days, I personally don't believe that the public school system is going to produce much of anything, besides what try to usher you into college, which is a debt trap. We figured it all out. I would get into a field that is needed quick. Like, you're always going to need men that work on cars. They climb up underneath it, reach down and in this spot and there, and it knows what's going on, this, that. You're always going to need people to do certain things, man. In the process of building houses, the carpenters and things like, you're always going to need people want decks and things like that, or need their plumbing fixed or electric. These are the lines that you need to be thinking of in terms of jobs, because all these other ones, food delivery, all this other stuff, it's going to go bye-bye. Eon bought 5 coffees. Thank you, Eon. Appreciate it to the fullest. So, right now, Uber Eats, DoorDash, all that stuff's the popular stuff, and people can do that driving around, but I'm telling you, you're going to get snuffed out here soon when the drones are just dropping all the deliveries. But, in the meantime, that drone's got to be able to go to the store and also get your order and all that, and that's something that only a human is cut out to do right here at the moment. So that there's an open door of opportunity there. I don't know though. You've already seen a lot of the cashiers disappear in the stores. Things of that nature, replaced by robots. I was walking down the aisle at Lowe's the other day, and all of a sudden there's a screen. And it says, "You're being filmed." I'm like, what? Like, random. In the middle of there's some box around my face. It pissed me off. I was like, dude, I'm like lightweight, not about to come back to the store. I was pissed off. Walk down, look up, and it's a camera in my face and a screen. Like, okay, yeah, I know y'all got cameras, but like, what's your point? Trying to get a close-up biometric on my face or something? It pissed me off, dude. Anyhow, I ain't stepping in this beast society crap the best of my ability. It's not like they didn't know I was there anyway, And when they see me pull up in the parking lot and they walk in, I've got my cell phone in my pockets. They know where I'm at anyway. They see me walk in on every camera, use my credit card when I'm checking out. Like, why are you trying to snatch my biometrics up in the aisle? You feel me? And that's with every store. I've been seeing it at other places. And not even ones that I've been to, just in clips and in the feed. Best Buys or places like that, people walk in, same thing. Tongue speaker. Hey, man. Much love. I appreciate that. Thank you for the coffees. Feels good to be back over here. A lot of people over here I know that don't dig Rumble. And wow, what have I missed over here? Colleen, coming through, just dropping the 20s in the chat, man. Much love. Multiples. If I missed anything, I apologize. Try to keep that chat up on the screen here. Let me get an update here, because you heard of the banking crisis that happened last time. And it was all because of the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and all this crap, and he ripped all these people off. All these people, the creditors, they're going to receive 142% of what they're owed. So they're making sure that the creditors get more than what they even lost, 142%, while the average Joe out there is just what? You get what? Not even a word on it? Crickets? Like, dude, that's pretty brazen. So the government's like, oh yeah, we'll protect you, but screw everybody else. I don't get it, man. And look, I feel like we're definitely in a beginning of a depression type mode right now. With the Bidenomics, whatever you want to call it, the inflation, all the damage being done, gas is creeping up. It's like never ending. Yeah, silver is an opportunity right now. Which love Jay from the Ville. I personally believe. I don't think silver's taken off. I think it's something to invest in. I'll get into the precious metals right now. Like, what does the CBDCs and gold have in common here? Well, some countries are probably going to outright confiscate all the gold and silver. And they're going to do it because they're going to say they need to put it in their reserves, and that those reserves back the CBDC. Therefore, the argument that, oh, Bitcoin's nothing, it's backed by nothing. All these cryptos are backed by nothing. They're digital nothings. At the end of the day, you can't hold it in your hand. They're going to say, well, our CBDC is different, and it's superior to your digital nothings. And that may be what crashes the whole Bitcoin market, because something will. It's all driven on news cycles. They'll bring the whole thing down because it's going to happen. It always does. They run it up high and it always comes down. And there has to be crazy news to tear it down. So expect it. They'll say, well, Bitcoin's, blah, blah, blah. They'll bash it. And they'll definitely bash it hard when they try to enforce the CBDC. Especially in America. The thing with America, though, is I feel like it has to come on the heels of a crisis. There has to be some kind of big event that we're getting ready to face. And it has to shock us economically. Whether it's a huge natural disaster, whether it's lights out, or a cyber event, or a banking event. It's got to be along those lines to financially affect the dollar. Lights come back on, or a cyber attack gets restored. What? All these banks start to fold. What? The government steps up and says, guess what? We don't need the bank. I hope you're paying attention, guys. Listen. We don't need the bank no more. Federal government's just going to straight up issue you the money from them to you. Do you understand now? Do you now see what this is all about? They're cutting out the middleman. They're cutting out the bank. There will be the Federal Reserve Bank. Don't get it twisted. But the normal bank as you know it. And I told you before, the tellers are leaving. When it's digital, why would there even be a bank? There's no money to go in and get. There's no physical money to go in and get. It will not be the same. They are about to pull a massive ruse right in front of your face. I'm telling you, the days of robbing a bank will be gone. It won't exist. You can't do it. You won't be able to do it no more. It won't exist to rob. So the federal government's going to step up and say, hey, you know what? Since all these banks are folding and going insolvent, and the FDIC isn't covering all this and that, what we're going to do is we're going to issue the new CBDC. And it's a wallet. All you got to do is download it. And all the lemmings are not going to even think twice. Anyone that already gets food stamps from the government or gets any benefits, this is all going to get converted. They're all going to be told to download this digital wallet. And since they already got digital everything, they're not even going to think twice. And this is how the whole wave is going to begin. If not, even without a crisis, they could start just as I just said, flipping food stamps over into the CBDC form, into a wallet. All they got to do is tell them to download this new wallet, and they will. And they're getting free money. Free CBDCs. That's what it's going to be. You mark my words. They've already said as much. They just need the crisis event. They've even said as much. So, will they confiscate gold in America? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to tell you that if you got it, bury it deep somewhere and, use it for the barter mechanism that you were going to. The thing is I feel like in the future, in the offing, they're going to try to do something to where they even take all this gold and silver for technological or for some kind of other means and even do away with it as being used as money. Basically stealing it. I always go back to thinking of the story of the Anunnaki. They came here, they created man to do one thing: mine for gold. And their peon human beings that they associate with that sold us out, the tares, they're all hoarding gold. There's one element. And it all just connects all the time in my mind. That they're just, this is what they're, just like they sacrificed a ball and all this other stuff. This is what they wanted. They didn't keep it a secret. It's known. This is what they wanted. The fallen that come here, this is what they want. They wanted this element in mass. And it's the one element that every government's stacking out the yin yang. So, I mean, come on. It's like 1 + 1 = 2 to me. Will they confiscate it all at some point? Sure they will. They'll try to take it all. Maybe not at first in the United States, but at some point they're going to come for it all. Especially when the anti is ruling. When they try to literally take every weapon and break it down globally. Remember where we're at, man. In America, the last bastion of anything that meant anything. We gotta stop evil from being implemented, man. So, again, stones throw away from that happening. Now, you may have heard that TikTok is to be banned or to be sold per what our U.S. government has written. Call it the forced sale or ban. Well, TikTok and its Chinese parent ByteDance are suing. They're challenging the new U.S. law, arguing that the law is unconstitutional. Can you believe that? The Chinese are trying to come in and argue something using our Constitution. How just... So, I don't know where this is going to go. You could find me, Patricia, right here on Surviving End Times on this YouTube channel. I've got my main YouTube channel still up. Just built this one up. Dabu77 still out there. Still sitting there. You can find me on Twitter at Dabu7. On DLive at Dabu7. Rumble at Dabu7. Most places at Dabu7. I'm not on TikTok though. You will not find me there because you may not agree with somebody in their stance on something, but at least they stand for something. That's how I feel. Okay? Rather than someone that stands for nothing. And it makes me sick to see some of these people out here that talk all this talk about all this crap and then are over there surfing on TikTok. Sharing TikToks left and right. Using TikTok. It's just like, dude, you're not awake. You don't believe half the crap you even say at your own mouth. It's bad enough that my own government tracks everything here. And we know they do. Through Facebooks and everything, listening to everything. But to have the CCP also tracking my every move and stealing biometrics and doing whatever they want to plot. I don't think so. You got to draw the line in the sand somewhere. So go be a TikTok millionaire or stand your ground. Let's stand my ground. Other people are just weak. That's just what it is. And other people just don't use their brains, if you ask me. What I see over there is all these people putting their face on a news clip And it's just the people sitting there. Like, why do I even need to see that? Why do I even need to be looking at someone just standing there making faces while the video plays? Why? That's the only difference of what TikTok is these people, everyday people, they found a way to get them to show themselves. And they don't even realize it. To show them your smiles, your facial expressions, every little thing that they want. You're giving them every bit of it for free. The enemy. The enemy. Just so you can have your 15 seconds of fame on TikTok, so people see your face or whatever. Dude, this is where the ego gets you. You see Dabu 7 blasting his face all over? No, because he ain't never been about that. It is for others out there. That's all it is. The ego, them. It's about the message in this fight, first and foremost. And this is tracking everything. And I don't trust it. And like I said before, it's bad enough you got your own government tracking everything. Why you want the CCP doing it too? I don't. Knowing your every move. I just don't. I don't trust it. If there's anyone that's going to come into this country and literally be your enemy that I'm sitting here witnessing, it is the Chinese that they're sending in across that border. Over 1 million that are here. I've told you it over and over. And what do you think they're here to do? If there's anyone that puts any kind of anything towards you, like threat-wise out there, coming across the border, any other government, it is that CCP, I'm telling you. I trust none of it. I trust none of it. Anyhow, they're suing. We'll see where it goes. But if you're over there, you'll find my work on TikTok because they rip it off of me all the time. They always have. And run with it and share it all over the place. You'll hear my voice all over the place. But I have no TikTok. I'm against it 100%. So go TikTok that. Somebody do a TikTok video on that. All you fools to steal my voice and all my work and making money and probably fortune over there off me. Can I sue over that? Using my likeness? Can't I? Can't I? Anyhow, Germany, feeling it big time. They're saying that they reject all this immigration. This is the people, not the government, the people. Because they don't want to become a minority. The German people in their own freaking country do not want all this immigration because they see it for what it is. This attack backed by Soros and company. And they don't want to be a minority to a people that are not even assimilating. Happening all over. Now, let's look at these protests. Let me get a quick update here. 15 votes. All right. Most people think the border invasion is the biggest threat. So, go ahead and drop it one more time. Anyone else wants to vote on it? Dropping it in the chats. I might be live on X tonight too. Don't have a chat there. If you're wondering, dropping it in the YouTube at D Live chats. Yeah, do appreciate the feedback. So it tells me most people see exactly how I feel. That the biggest problem is that the enemy is like a Trojan horse in here. It's in here. Hiding right now. It's just like the Trojan horse story. The Trojans sneaking in, and then when the lights were out, when it was dark, when the lights were out, I'm telling you, they came out. So, with these protesters, these vandals, going across the country, BLM 2.0, they're vandalizing stuff. And this is kind of surprising. NYC's mayor offers $15K cash reward for info on the damage of a World War I memorial. It's like you never care about nothing else. But now, they're getting so overran. This dude wants them all out. They got a taste of their own medicine. Sanctuary City, NYC. They want them out. They want to stop housing them in the hotels and the migrants. But now the protesters on top of it, just causing pure chaos. And this is kind of crazy. It's like you facilitated the environment, to let all this happen. You're buddies with the guys pushing all this. They're on the same side as you. It's ridiculous. I expect to see these protests span out of control deeper and deeper into this year. That's going to be one of my next biggest questions, is where people want to see coverage, live stream coverage from. And what events. Save that one, I guess, for the next show. So kind of get a beat on where we can target this summer. Well, check this out. What do you know? Evidence has emerged that UCLA, Columbia, USC, all these other college campuses that have encampments on them, this has all been planned since at least November of 2023. You see, when you start to get leaked information and stuff, you start to see that some of these things have been planned long in advance. These are huge. They were preparing for this election year, and this is the proof of it. And you can see right here on these documents, connected to it, they were initially made in November of 2023. All these colleges. So we've got a list, some of which have not been hit yet. Yeah, some which have not been hit yet, guaranteed going to be hit, that are on this list. It's what you got. We don't know. What I would say is I would pick some of these places on here. George Mason, wherever, Drexel, Wesleyan. I'd pick them and I'd look on their calendars. I'd see what they got going on. If they got a big graduation ceremony coming up or any kind of big event coming up, guess what? They're targeted. Because that's what they've been doing. They've been storming in on the graduation ceremonies, storming in on this and that. Well, we're hip to what they're doing now. Now, we've got a bit of a map to where they're going. And we can see that this has been planned all the way back into last year. This is huge. This is 136 different universities or colleges here. Even list some that are outside of the United States. In Tokyo, in Queensland, in Cairo, in Berlin, Buenos Aires, Alberta, Vancouver, Quebec, Montreal, Istanbul, Turkey. All these places. So, I know some of these have been hit. I don't know exactly which ones, but I feel like we need to go through here and just start checking them off. We know Columbia. But you've got Bernard College, Vanderbilt. I don't know that anything's happened there yet at those places. NYU, you got Princeton, University of Washington, you got Duke. We know Michigan just got targeted the other day. They rolled in on that. I reported on it. But it has Michigan State? I don't know. It's on the list. Swarthmore, Rochester. This goes on and on. Delaware, Idaho, all these universities. Louisiana State. Yale, Cornell, Rutgers. All these are on here, man. Pittsburgh. I know not all these spots have been hit. So, yeah, man, this is, this right here is one to watch right there. Protest net. What? It says apparently the funds for encampments are being routed through Venmo, mostly, and Cash App. He's on it. And they're saying, don't mention Palestine or Gaza or related emojis in the payment. And that's another thing. They've been using code through emojis and other code words and things like that. But you can see some of the idiots just don't pay attention, don't even listen. Are you for Palestine? Liberate right there. And EU. Solidarity. You can see all these people are with solidarity support. Free Palestine. University of Washington. Mary Washington. Humboldt. USC. All these places, man. It's a mass operation. Huge operation. Look at this. When it comes to these migrants in this country, this is insane. Denver has set up a host migrants in your home hotline. They're using the illusion of normal everyday migrants. That's one tribe. Is what is coming in here. When in reality, an overwhelming number are the other group, military-aged men, not women and children at all, and a majority Chinese coming in. But Denver wanting you to invite these people into your home. I mean, dude, this is just exactly what the Pope was trying to tell people a few years back when they were coming across the Mediterranean. He was trying to tell them, take them into your homes. They were all the leaders trying to say that. But when they got into Italy and they got right up to the Vatican, guess what? Hypocrisy rang. They let none of them into the Vatican. No, but they want you to let them into your home. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know, I can't trust nothing. What's going on? Look at this. This is one of them explosive headlines here of the night. This tells you where we're at. The Chinese crossing the border illegally have spiked here recently, on top of all the other times they've spiked, 7,000%. 7,000%. If anybody cares. This is the most alarming, craziest, anything. If you ask me, that's why I put out the poll asking to see if people felt the same way. Apparently, majority of you guys do. We are getting invaded by the Chinese, and you know it. And we need to know where they're at, where they're being housed. We need it live streamed. We need people to know. We need locals that are closest to it. Even if they're 200 miles away from civilization out in the middle of nowhere, we need the closest communities to know. You've got 250,000 of these cats sitting down here for some reason. Now, I don't know about you, but when you got 250,000 of the enemy sitting somewhere, or 1 million or more in this country, dude, it's the biggest red flag ever. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Again, America just keeps on pushing like nothing's happening. It's crazy. And bang, bang. Yeah, something's got to go. Something's got to give. Check this out. I'm going to play this clip here for you guys. We'll play this clip real quick. This is of a man, Bill Wells. He is a man that owns property that is seeing an overwhelming amount of people come across. And he is finding their IDs that for whatever reason they're ditching. I guess they're being told to ditch their IDs when they get across. Well, this is kind of stupid because this dude's just walking around and he's finding them all over the place. He knows who all these people are. Because again, for whatever reason, whoever is coming into this country, they're being told to ditch their IDs. So they can probably come in here and just go get a fake one. Like Illinois, California. They just go get a fake ID. Or new ID. Say they're whatever. It's that crazy. That we've been sold out. We're done. Like, this is crazy. Anyhow, I'm going to play this clip and you can hear from the horse's mouth what's going on.
This is Bill Wells. I'm down here at the border, and I'm at my friend Corey Godero's house, who's going to take us down and show us what's happening at the border. But he lives right here, and you should see this. All of these IDs on the wall are IDs that he's found in his yard that people have just discarded after they've crossed the border. Some of them, as you can see over here, they've been lit on fire. You know, they tried to burn them. A picture they found in two different locations that was obviously torn apart. So what's happening is they're getting across the border and they're deciding they're trying, at least being instructed, to destroy these IDs. Now, these are Middle Eastern IDs. We've got lots of people here from Turkey. But over here is really interesting. Well, all these IDs on the top are they're Mexican IDs, but they're Chinese nationals. And I have no idea how they get the Mexican ID, but these are people from China.
You hear that? All those are Mexican IDs, but they are Chinese nationalists. Dude, this is massive. I'm telling you. Dude, if our forefathers, our grandparents, our uncles, our whoever before us were to know this information in their day, that this was happening, those men, I'm telling you, because they were made different. They'd be mobilizing. Not sitting there, not going to a Trump rally. They'd be mobilizing. They'd be saving this country. I mean, hell, they went off to war to other countries and gave their lives. Who's got it in them here? Huh? To save this country, knowing the invader is here. It's here. It is here, like the Trojan horse. I'm telling you, we all know it. It's one day coming up here very soon. It begins. So, if you missed the stream that I covered before, we showed how this guy Michael that I follow on Twitter, he's down there. He's followed them all the way through the Darien Gap, through all the stuff all the way up to the border. And what they've come to find out is that the largest group of migrants that are from Ecuador, Mexico, all these other people, normal migrants that they're using in this, they're all going in through certain ways. But when it comes to the Chinese specifically, they are taking them on boat routes down rivers to these facilities. And it's like organized massively. And the cartel, Mexican cartel, is in on this, knows it at the border. It's crazy. We should have live streams going down there. If we can't have live streams, at least video going. We need people working the border big time. Shout outs to Doug that was working it in El Paso. And every time I talk to him, it's always the same thing. They're all over the place. It's everywhere. And what are we going to do to stop it? You need numbers. You need numbers. Look at this. Justin Trudeau is willing to give free access to national parks in his country, but only to migrants. Why would that be? Why would that be? all of a sudden all these migrants are free. They go running up into these national parks with the Canadian government's protection. Oh, Canada, you better watch out. See, there is no border for Canada to say, oh, they're coming from the U.S. into Canada. Oh, I'm sure some are, but no. We've been seeing a majority are going into the United States across both borders. On the last stream, I talked about how up in Maine, in New England of this country, farmers and residents are getting freaked out because there's a mass influx of migrants coming through their property up there. Mass. And they're doing the same thing, ditching their IDs. It's the same thing. Majority Chinese. What's going on? All of a sudden, the Trudeau government ready to just let these mystery men pack into their national parks, dude. I wanted to point out real quick the 20 most indebted countries to China that are bowing down to China right now: Pakistan, Angola, Sri Lanka, Ethiopia, Kenya, Zambia, Bangladesh, Laos, Egypt, Nigeria, Ecuador, Cambodia, Belarus, Cameroon, South Africa, Congo, Brazil, Mongolia, Argentina. It's a long list of a bunch of countries that owe you billions. Whether it's 1 billion or 20-some billion, it's billions. When you're in debt that much to another country, they've got you. Argentina had a tricky one since they just switched everything over to US dollars. But yeah, China's influence around the world is crazy. China remains the world's biggest jailer of journalists. Can you imagine how many people are rotting away in a jail over in China because of just whatever? Because of whatever. The biggest jailer of journalists in the world. And what are the deadliest countries for journalists? Well, Cameroon, Philippines, Ukraine, topping the list. Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Lebanon, Mexico, Palestine. So, Mexico, a hotbed right there at the southern U.S. border. Again, Chinese nationalists getting Mexican IDs, piling in. It's pretty crazy. I guess we can only talk about it and warn about it so much. I mean, there has to be action. We need action down there. Okay, so RFK challenges Trump to a debate here at the Libertarian Convention. So this is an interesting one. Now, I didn't think about this, and I don't know where this is at. I'm going to have to look this up. The Libertarian Convention. It's coming up here soon, and I know that the RNC and the DNC are definitely going to be targeted by these protests. Definitely. It's a for sure thing. Heavily. It's going to be chaos. It makes me wonder about this Libertarian Convention. Where's it going to be? Will they do the same thing there? Potentially. Any of these big events right now, here in this election year. Anyhow, Trump, basically, at the front of the pack, everybody knows it. Kennedy, saying that he ran his own independent poll, and that the poll says, and he's kind of like, I don't know, playing into Trump's ego. He was expressing a lot of gratitude toward Trump, and he was saying, look, me and you should run and have a debate because I smoke Biden, you smoke Biden, and in the polls when we run head to head, you win in a nail biter. Or he says, no, he says, I win in a nail biter. is what it is. Will these two debate? It would be interesting. It's just more theatrics on the stage, but I mean, it would be more interesting than a debate with Biden. Actually, a debate with Biden would probably be pretty comical. You're just not going to get it. They're not going to give it to you. They're shortening his speeches. They're doing all types of stuff with him. Yeah. Um. mm, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens with this whole election thing. RNC, DNC. We'll dive into that further in the next stream, into some of these locations, and see what y'all think about what we should target in terms of coverage. Because I will live stream, and it will be on D Live exclusively for everyone listening. Because it has to be. We'll pick a place and we'll try to get it in. D Live, because you can't do it on YouTube, can't do it on Rumble, you can't do it on any place that you're gonna catch strikes for someone playing a song in the background or something stupid. You just can't. You got to be somewhere where you're free to just stream, and D Live's proven to be it. When it gets crazy in the streets, chaotic, and you want to see what's going on, I'm telling you now, remember, bookmark D Live. I'm live there tonight at Dabu 7. It is a backup. But that's where I'll be. I won't be live streaming like this from YouTube, because all it takes, again, is just someone go by playing Leonard Skinner or something. They hit me, and it's stupid. And then the stream's down. You can't see what's going on. It's like, let's just skip all that and use D Live. Utilize it for that. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's jump into this Trump stuff. And we're going to be going past the top of the hour here tonight. I'll load up another chest on D Live here toward the end of the stream as well. Trump, in all this court stuff, this whole thing with Stormy Daniels, they pull her in as a witness, and like the whole Trump team just didn't even expect it. They were like blindsided by it that she walked in as the witness. But I find it interesting that she says that they're in there. Trump's sitting up on this thing, got his legs cocked up, and she says she had all of her clothes off, her shoes off, her bra still on, missionary position, and she blacks out. It's like, oh, like get right up to the, and then all of a sudden that's what she says she sticks to. They said Trump was over there huffing and puffing, and she was trying to say that Trump told her that him and Melania no longer even sleep in the same bed together. And all this, these are the comments that she made, or she said in court that happened between them. But that was all, I guess, right before she blacked out. And didn't have anything else to say. So they were ticked off about that, but it really didn't do anything either way. But then we jump over to these other trials. Let's get some updates. The classified document trial has been postponed indefinitely. This comes just days after they come out and they admitted that they mishandled the evidence. And it's a bombshell. Because when they go in to collect evidence, they got to take photos of everything and all the material that's in it. Well, apparently, what they have now on file or in their possession does not match what was in the images. Which, that's a huge, this is getting thrown out card right there, which plays to his advantage big time. So it's been postponed indefinitely. So that one right there, they tried to go after him. It could be ended right there. Let's go over to this other one. It says another Trump trial derailed. The Fannie donating judge's decision to keep her on the RICO trial under scrutiny by appeals court. And it says one day after Trump and that whole thing I just told you about was postponed indefinitely, we learned that the DOJ mishandled that evidence, but then another Trump case has no chance to go to trial, they say, and it's this one. The appeals court out of Georgia agreed to review a lower court ruling which allowed Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis to remain on the prosecution, but it's highly conflicted because she used money. The dude she was having an affair with, or whatever, it was working with her on this whole thing, she was paying him out of all this money off the case, Nathan Wade. She paid him more than $600,000. And they took all these lavish vacations and all this other stuff, and she's basically been busted for all this. And they say that, look, because of all this, this needs to get thrown out. And because it's not fair. It's all stacked against Trump. So he could be getting lucky here with multiple trials here getting derailed or thrown out. And it's only going to help him in terms of election to make sure that he's on every ballot in every state and that there's no shenanigans, so to speak. I want to remind you everything that happened in the last election and why we're in this position to begin with. That they gave you Joe Biden. Okay? Regardless of anything, they gave you Joe Biden. Can that charade go on for 4 more years? I don't know. That guy is so... Whoever's playing that guy, not looking good. Toxic in the house. What do we got here? Coming up on top of the hour here. I'm gonna just boil it down here to the last couple headlines here. May take us out to like 11:11. We've got Ron Paul talking about the whole robbery in Ukraine, saying it's not over. It's going to continue. Expect it. I mean, they just sent another $61 billion, and like, there's are there protests in the streets about that? No. So I told you last time that Ukraine is like a meat grinder, and that like young men are trying to escape the country, and all this other stuff. Well, now they're passing a bill to recruit prisoners because of the depleted army ranks. Can you imagine this? If your ass is in prison in Ukraine, all of a sudden your cell door opens up and you're like, yep, you're coming front lines. I mean, dude, this is just a death sentence. It is a death sentence. It is, dude. But nobody cares. In the meantime, though, somebody cared about something. Somebody in there is getting so ticked off, they finally did something. An assassination attempt gets foiled on Zelensky. 2 colonels arrested. And my best guess is that they caught him talking on electronics, which is what always gets them. Guys talking. They're plotting and planning over phone, computer, and whatever it is. They're listening to everything. And they picked it up. And they foiled it. So they now have these 2 colonels in detention, saying that they're involved in this criminal conspiracy to take him out. Remember, Zelensky rolls around like Slim Shady. He has more doubles than any other person you will see on the planet. We proved it. Proved it many times. And you can go find it out there. The evidence. This dude, when he walks into some public places, anytime he walks into a place, there's 2 or 3 dudes standing or around that look just like him. Dress just like him. Look just like him. Walk just like him. It may even be one of them that they're presenting as the actual one. And he's off to the side as, blending in. All of them could be a fake. Sometimes. But most of the time when they roll him out, he's got a handful of Slim Shadys, copycats, with him. In the one clip, they showed him walk into a room and 2 or 3 pop up and start crisscrossing the room. He walks into another room. More step up. One gets up out of a chair. One walks into the room from the other way. They're all coming from different angles. They all look like Zelensky. It's crazy. They do this to try to stop the assassination of their key man here. Somebody tried anyway, or they were plotting anyway. Russia, in the meantime, warning of World War III as we are really inching closer. The moment they start dropping tactical nukes out there, it's on. And they are doing exercises. This deserves its own breakdown, like in a video or something. They're doing exercises right now in Russia, specifically involving tactical nukes and strategic strikes. And when it comes to Ukraine, I said it before, they can't just mushroom cloud a nuke there on Zelensky or anything. They can't do it. It'll blow back in their face. They have to use something low yield that will not bring radiation back into their face. So, Russia's warning that, we're right there. We're right there. It really hinges on the whole NATO thing. If Ukraine was to join NATO officially, it's on, because that means that it's officially NATO versus Russia, and everyone says it. That's declared. That's World War III. We're already there. I mean, they're fighting it out in Ukraine. Ukraine's a proxy. They're already doing it. The West is involved. We're involved. Everyone knows it. But direct conflict, that's the moment they will officially say we're in World War III. And Russia's been threatening UK, France, all of them. Like, dude, if you want to stay involved, sending weapons and supplies, we'll nuke you too. We can hit you. We can hit you from there. Yes, Chilled Walrus. This is Dabu-san on the Surviving End Times channel. That's right. This is my backup channel. Welcome. Much love. Hope all is good. Coming in at the end of the stream. Started at 9 p.m. Eastern. Been at it for a couple hours now. About to wind it down. Take us out of here. Want to point out, though, real quick, China's military and its spending reaches $710 billion. That's triple of what they announced. You think they're up to something? Oh, yeah. China's flexing. I tell you every time. Meanwhile, our military falling apart. All by design, I'm telling you. Here tonight, another mishap. F-22 stealth fighter at the Savannah airport has a brake issue. They didn't even want to announce it, but somebody caught it on audio off the tower that the brakes went out. And this is sick and it's pathetic to announce. But the Government Accountability Office has put out the latest figures, and it shows that only 15 to 30% of Lockheed Martin's F-35 Lightning stealth fighters that we spent all these money and years on, all of our eggs in a basket, to protect us, only 15 to 30% are capable of combat. We're smoked. We're set up. That's what we are, unfortunately. And as the time ticks away, the J6 arrests continue to skyrocket, and they nearly doubled now this year because the window's closing. They've got till the January of 2025 before statute of limitations, all this stuff kicks in. And they can go after some of these people. So they just keep dropping more and more charges on people from that. And as I said before, for each Joe Biggs that's locked up on that, they got him, threw away the key. It's garbage. Him and a bunch of other cats that don't deserve to be in there for the rest of their lives rotting. They definitely don't. They definitely don't. And if you don't know, I'm going to make it clear, 41%, which is almost half, 9% away from half, of America thinks civil war will be likely by 2029. So right up there at 2030. So by 2030, it's a huge chunk of people thinking it's going to go down one way or another. So that's yeah, man. Yeah, get an update before I shut it down here on this return stream back to YouTube. Um, it looks like top of the list on that poll is border invasion. Most people think is the biggest issue. I think I got that up for today. Um, yeah, and I don't know that Friday stream will be over here. Right now, I'm gonna make this for sure. The hell was that? Growled. Dude, what was that? Dude, something big outside my window just growled. That was crazy. That was crazy. Not to mention neighbors. Today I seen when they were talking, sitting there saying that, oh yeah, the mountain lions are out there and all this, and they seen a huge bear with the two cubs, and it went right up on our property. Just saying, that is what they said today. But I just heard a huge growl. It was crazy. That was crazy. You heard it, Jackie. That was nuts. That's I don't know. I'll have to go out there with the gun here in a minute and check everything out. But yeah, every Wednesday I look to be right here on YouTube, and it may be every Monday and Wednesday. We'll see. Fridays, I think I'm gonna stay away because I think it's just how I need to keep it. I think there's some streams and some things and details that are things someone will talk about that just can't be talked about in some of these places, and we all know it. So I'll just probably keep Friday to the Rumble streams, like I have been doing. D Live, X, Rumble on Friday. Maybe Monday over here on YouTube as well. We'll see. But I can play music and stuff over there on Fridays. Also, I'm dropping new music. I'm free to play my music without any hassle or any of that. So yeah, man. That's gonna be the plan from here. Friday stream will be over there. So yeah, you may see me back over here on YouTube on Monday. So hey, it's a plus getting things rolling again over here. I really do appreciate everybody that joins for the streams. If you got something you want me to report on or something interesting, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Tag me over on Twitter or X at Dabu7. And thank you, Glenna, for the prayers. Anyone out there? Yes, I appreciate that. Anyone else out there that needs prayers? Be careful out there. The storms tonight in the coming days. And yeah, I'm going to run some exit music here and shut it down. Take us out of here for the night. And God willing, I'll see you guys here in the coming days for the next one. Yeah. This has been Dabu7 Underground World News Live. It's May 8th, 2024. Busting open the chest over on D Live. Much love. Another big one coming your way right now. Thank you, Patricia, for the coffees tonight. Tongue speaker. Thank you for the coffees. EON. Thank you for the coffees and the support. Same with you, Kansas Homestead. Barbara. Kathy. Much love. Thank you for the support. I appreciate all the prayers. Laura. Meat Puppet. Sweet Pea. Michael B. from NJ. Coming through huge tonight. Thank you. Much love. Shut it down here at 11:11. Black Cat, Hoodie Ross, Steve, Shuma, CJ. I see you guys. New music coming from me, Fire to Flame and Hoodie Ross. Much love, Tooch, Taco, D-White, all the crew, all the pure bloods. I love all y'all. Much love.